So today was the Warner Bros. Discovery presentation. They were talking about, what's coming up on HBO Max. They announced, that a lot of the projects they're doing are going to be under 35 million. Or I mean, all projects, but Syl. So we're going to talk a little bit about Syl Abdul. Now, I've brought him up on the channel. I did this video called Why I Don't Trust Scoopers, and Syl was one of the faces of that. But right now on Twitter, he's kind of being flamed and he's being roasted because Mikey Sutton specifically. Mikey Sutton put out this article. Now, I'm going to be fair right now. I made a video saying that this was a high possibility. Now, I'm of course wrong, and I'm going to admit that I'm wrong because obviously I was. Now, to be fair, I'm not a scooper. I'm just reading the news, but I did say there's a high chance this was going to happen. But hey, I came out to be wrong. And they did come out with this article saying that it's going to be announced. It's going to be announced on today, May 18th, at the Warner Bros. Discovery thing, and I of course said that that's a high possibility. That's a high possibility. Now, Mikey Sutton is in Syl's channel. He's off. You'll see him pop in a lot of times. But he's basically a co-host, and they kind of collab. They have sources. They have scoops. They have all this, and a lot of their scoops tend to be Zack Snyder DCU related. Now, in my video, I said one of my worries about this channel and what they do to their subscribers is that they give people information and then people run with it, because one of my problems with the Snyder fandom, and by the way, I'm a hardcore Zack Snyder fan, and by the way, if anyone here calls me a Syl hater, just remember I made a video about Matt Jarbo that was nearly an hour long about where I criticized him on calling the Snyder fandom a cult. So just do your research before you make stupid comments. But Syl, I've said this before, still seems like a nice guy. Like, when I see him talk, he seems like a genuinely positive guy, but I do think he has fallen into the trap of clickbait, Snyder fan, because the reality is, because the Snyder fandom, we want our voices heard. We did the impossible. We got the Snyder Cut released, and now we want the Snyderverse restored. Because we're in such a vulnerable position right now, it's easy for somebody to be a major influencer in this Snyder community. There are quite a couple of Snyder fans that I think, like I'm gonna say right now, Poindexter Lounge, Enosh. I think he's the best example of what a Snyder fan should strive to be. He's good. He's positive. He calls out the BS when he needs to, and he's not going to be one lopsided. And of course, he's talked to literally Ray Fisher, Ray Porter, Ezra Miller, and I don't know if he's talked to more people, but he's talked to a lot of these people, and clearly he's shown an influence on the community. Syl, however, does kind of like this, guys, this is happening, this is gonna happen, guys, this is gonna happen. Now, to be fair, he has gone some things right. Like, one of the things here that they said was, on June 16, 2021, I revealed that David Zaslav would make serious changes to the company. Specifically, one of them would be Warner Media chairman and Sarnoff. That came out to be true, so I am going to give them credit when credit's due. But the thing is, they've come out to be wrong, and today they were wrong, because they said on May 18th they were going to talk about, the Ayer cut being released, and it was mainly the Ayer cut. They did say the Snyderverse could possibly be restored, like confirmation, but their main premise was the Ayer cut. And I'm somebody who wants this movie out more than really anyone, because this is the movie I wanted, not the trash movie we got back in 2016. But we're gonna give them criticisms due. They came out to be wrong. But the thing is, Syl doesn't seem to be very good at criticism. He used to have a series called Clackback Saturday. I'm sorry, but if you have a weekly show where all you're doing is responding to haters, which, by the way, yes, there are haters. There are people I see that are actually genuinely hating on this man and praying for his downfall. But most of the things I see from, like, Matt Jarbo, Resident Justice, all these other people, I feel fancy saying Resident Justice, of course I mean RJ, but you see the criticism that all of these people actually have. Syl's response typically just tends to be, you're a hater, screw you, all this and that. And we're even going to show you that today it's kind of like, it seemed like he was in a worry. Mikey, and look, it even says here, this is their chance to generate enormous amounts of hype. They have to take it. This was on May 15th. And then this is what Syl said on May 15th. I keep being told shock and awe. Warner Bros. Discovery is keeping a tight lip on what's coming this Wednesday, May 18th. So I just hope they deliver something. Mikey and Syl, and then this is RJ. Mikey and Syl have repeatedly hyped up May 18th, even up until May 15th, with Syl talking about hearing there would be shock and awe at this upfront event. That's not being anti-Snyder. It's pointing at they actually got some. Oh wait, he was responding to Skywalker. Now I will say something about Skywalker. I've actually talked to Skywalker. I've never spoken to Syl, but I have talked to Skywalker and all that. He seems like a nice guy. I've spoken to him a couple of times. He seems like a good guy. He's a big Snyder fan. I'm a big Snyder fan, so it's nice to see other people in the community. However, I won't deny it. It does seem like he only listens to Syl and only Syl. And in this, he kind of says that he basically says, let's actually see. It says it right here. Uh, Beta energy overtakes the anti-Snyder crowd at Warner Bros. Discovery. The thing I don't like is that he just assumes everybody's anti-Snyder. Why don't you just say Syl haters? Although that's stupid to say too. But anti-Snyder, I've criticized Syl, and for some reason when I made that video, a lot of people just assumed I was anti-Snyder, which is funny. It's weird because anytime I criticize the Snyder fan, which I do have criticisms, and again, I'm the same guy who recently made a video criticizing Matt Jarbo. When I get called an anti-Snyder, there's never any proof. The only proof is you criticize this small part of the fandom, okay? I criticize it because that's what's needed to do. Not every fandom's perfect, and part of being in a fandom is calling out your fellow fans who are doing stupid things. And I did that, and yet I'm labeled anti-Snyder. And I don't like how Skywalker, one thing I don't like that he did right here is he's basically just saying, oh, if you criticize Syl, then that means you're anti-Snyder and you're a beta. I mean, no, they deserve the criticism. They were making it out to seem that the Ayer cut was going to be released, or not released, but, an announcement of the release today. And before you say, because their only receipts, which you can see on their names right there, their only receipt is, we said maybe. No, you were hyping it up. If I tell people, let's say I tell my YouTube channel that I'm going to give away $100 to every subscriber, and I still tell everyone, hey everyone, you're all gonna get $100 each, maybe, but you're still promoting it a lot. So that's kind of the idea people are gonna get. Nobody cares about the maybe part. That's just kind of life. In life, you just think about that main thing. You're not thinking about the maybe. And that maybe, when you see what Syl said, it just seemed like they were just trying to backtrack. To me, it just seemed like they were just trying to have that backup just in case this happened. But the thing is that that's not how it works. People will feel whatever you tell them. Like right here, I keep being told shock and awe. Warner Bros. Discovery is keeping a tight lip of what's coming this Wednesday, May 18th. So I just hope they deliver something. Yeah, you're basically implying massively, and there's many other tweets saying, yeah, there's gonna be a big major event for the Snyderverse fandom. And of course, I fell for it because I did make a video talking about this article from Geekosity. And let's bring up other tweets. And it seems like he's not taking it well. This level of backtracking is legendary. And right here it says, some random guy messaged him saying, Zaslav shot the Snyderverse down today, though we're at, and then Syl responds, we're at. Top Hat says, I got the impression when he stated he won't do any director's favors, not even Clint Eastwood. What does favors have to do with the Snyderverse? Well, again, if he's not willing to let Clint Eastwood, one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, if he's not willing to just suck up to him, then what makes you think Zack Snyder's going to be sucked up to? Although I would prefer that, because, yes, I do think Clint Eastwood is a better filmmaker, but again, Zack Snyder made my favorite movie of all time. That is his Justice League movie, and I want to see the sequels. But it did seem like, I don't think, look, by the way, I do want to say this. I don't think that they were 100% saying, oh, the Snyderverse is gone, over, done with. No, they weren't saying that. To me, what it seemed like is they were saying that more than likely this, which Syl did say this, that it's going to be theatrical. But I've been saying this from the beginning, by the way. If you go look at my videos from over a year ago, I kept saying the only way the Snyderverse can ever be restored would be theatrical. So to me, it made sense when they said that all the HBO Max projects would be under $35 million. And the Snyderverse, Justice League Part 2, Part 3, all these other movies, those movies are going to cost way more than $35 million. I mean, just finishing the VFX for the Snyder Cut was like $75 million. So, yeah, there's no way that they're going to be able to pay a lot less than that. And then over here we have Syl saying, what does favors have to do with Snyderverse? Then Top Hat says, Ayer cut seems like a favor to David Ayer, as worthy as an investment. Now, to be fair, this really isn't exposing him. I'll give him credit. But I will say this stupid comment right here. He says, what does Ayer cut have to do with Zack coming back? I mean, isn't that part of it? Restoring the Snyderverse means also giving it, because that's the implied message. When the Snyderverse gets restored, the first thing we'll get is the Ayer cut, because that's the easiest thing to do. You just gotta finish the VFX, whatever you're gonna do. And so, I mean, you said that the Ayer cut and Mikey Sutton, and I know Syl's excuse is probably gonna be that's Mikey got the wrong sort. No, you just gotta admit you're wrong. You're wrong. I admitted early in this video that I was wrong about covering this and making a video out of it. But over here, or no, wrong tweet. Over here, that was a little silly. The Ayer cut is part of the Snyderverse. It is involved with it. That's pretty silly. And you can see he's really, really, really trying to backtrack. No Scoop Center this week. Yeah, I ain't giving him a free sponsorship. But you can see he's really backtracking. And it's not like he's accepting that loss. And then look, he just says, oh, well, the Snyderverse theatrical. Now, to be fair, I don't know if he said that. I don't know if his sources have told him that the Snyderverse will be on HBO Max. I don't know. I know there are people who believe that, but I've said this from the beginning. When the Snyderverse gets restored, it's not going to be HBO Max. You're not going to make money off that. You're going to make money theatrical. This year is literally the proof that theatrical is the way to go. I mean, how many movies do you see doing streaming day and day releases for theaters and streaming anymore? None, because they know that putting your movies on theaters is what makes the money, and then you can put it on streaming 45 days, 60 days later. And what else? But now let's get into the real part that really, I wasn't really laughing at Syl this time. Like, I was more just like, I don't really care. But now let's get into this. So I made this tweet. Now, Syl was talking to Bradley, and Bradley was kind of calling him out. Now, look, Syl has every right to respond. He has every right to respond. But he says here, hey, stop tagging me, you effing clown. F you and your boyfriend. Now, I made this tweet saying Syl seems like a good guy, which is what I said. He seems like a genuinely nice guy. And we're in the same fandom. That is also true. Some people are going to say no, but we're in the same fandom. We're all in this together. But honestly, this feels like hidden homophobia. Why bring up Austin and Bradley's relationship, but not RJ and Jarbo's and all the others that call you out? What does that have to do with this? And this is, I want to give guys a lesson. So I've called out homophobia a lot in my videos. And the thing is, when it comes to sexism, racism, homophobia, all these isms, there is a little hidden bias towards some people on their way they approach it. Like, for example, let's use a stereotype right here. If, let's say you need help in math and you call your Asian friend or this Asian person you kind of know, and you ask them for help, but you don't know how educated they are. That's kind of a little bit of a racial bias that you have within you. I know that's a stereotype, but some people believe that. And it is hard, especially because right now we're living in an era where, at least here in America, being homophobic is starting to become less and less cool. Because back then you could literally get away with saying the F slur and nobody would care. And this was only like 4 years ago maybe, where you could literally say the F slur and no one would care. But we're living in different times, or at least here in America, in Canada, not Mexico. Definitely not Mexico. Believe me, Mexicans are very homophobic. They're very isms. But there are times where you do have hidden homophobia, hidden racism, hidden all this that comes out of you. Like, for example, the Geeks and Gamers crew, all those grifters that talk about women in movies, they claim not to be sexist, but they always complain about women being in movies. Now, the reason why I say this is hidden homophobia, and by the way, I'm not saying Syl is homophobic. What I'm saying it's hidden homophobia is because why bring up somebody who's not involved in this? F you and your boyfriend. And look, he's criticized RJ. He's criticized Matt Jarbo. I literally just recently criticized Matt Jarbo this weekend. You never bring up anyone. You're never like F you and your girlfriend. I literally had to go do research, and I couldn't find him ever bringing up girlfriends. But the thing is, now that the one gay guy is now calling you out, you bring up his boyfriend, who wasn't even a part of it. That's a little suspicious. That's the part where I was genuinely like, hold up, huh? And a lot of people were basically telling Bradley, oh, you're just trying to get clout. Nobody cares about you, Bradley, and all that. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. Syl's allowed to respond. But maybe respond like a human being. Hey, stop tagging me. That's actually why I didn't tag him. Because I'm like, he doesn't want to get tagged clearly here. And he's probably seen the tweet. But that part right there. And the thing is, you go on his Twitter, he's really arguing with a lot of people saying that, oh, I never said this, I never said that. But the thing is, you do have to accept the L. Mikey Sutton, who is your co-host, your partner, whatever you want to call him, got something wrong. Maybe he was given false information. Maybe the information just didn't turn out to be true. And look, I am not criticizing you as a scooper. I understand this is your career. I understand this is how you pay the bills. I understand that this is your livelihood. Both Mikey, Syl, I understand this is your life. But you also have to understand that part of being in the scoop game is you have to accept the loss. And Syl, I know this. I know very well that you agree with me on this. You and I both do not like Andy Signor. You know who else can't admit when their scoops are wrong? Andy Signor. You go watch Andy Signor's videos, or at least back in the day when he used to do scoops and all that. Now that he's transitioned to freaking Amber Heard and Will Smith content like a freaking moron. But you go look at his videos, and anytime someone dare challenges the scoops, he tells people, no, this is correct, this is right, this is my insider source. And anytime he ever received any form of criticism, whether it's from Max, Enosh, or anyone, all he would say is, no, guys, this was the truth. Even when he was wrong about the Snyder Cut. Being released, because he said, I believe even just months before the Snyder Cut got announced, or at least the release date, he had said that the Snyder Cut was never going to happen, that Warner Bros. Does not want to do it. And then when it got released, he started backtracking, saying, oh guys, but it was at the time that what I said was true. It's just that now times have changed. HBO Max does it. No, he just made excuses. And still, you are now making the same excuses that Andy Signor made. And again, this is coming from someone who genuinely sees you as a nice guy. Now, I don't know if I have been told that Syl didn't like that video, which is weird because I spent most of the time praising him, saying he looks like a good guy. But anyways, sometimes people can't accept criticism. And Syl I again, this just stems from me not liking scoopers as a whole. I don't respect scoopers. I don't really like the scoop game. This includes Grace Randolph, which I know a lot of Syl fans do not like Grace Randolph and all that. But look, to me, I just don't like the scoop game because it's like you throw out this BS, and then when somebody dares questions you, your first reaction is, how dare you question me? How dare you do all this? It's like, no. As a scooper, as even me, I'm a movie commentator. I'm not a pundit. I'm not a professional. I literally do this as just part-time. Even when I get criticism, my first reaction is, you're wrong, you're this. No, I listen to that person. I hear what they have to say. And that's even happened on my channel. I remember for a while so when I was making videos calling out the toxic side of our fandom, of our Zack Snyder fandom, I had a friend of mine message me saying, hey, you know what, it sounds like you're being too aggressive. I think the best case scenario to do is, if you really want to get into people's minds, you got to be calm, you got to be relaxed, and you got to approach it in a way where you seem approachable, where it seems like that person can have a conversation with you. And instead of saying, oh, shut up, you're wrong, I'll do my way, I actually listened to them, and I was like, hey, you know what, he's right. I got to be more calm in my approach when I make videos, when I'm aggressive and all that. I got to learn to best say what I'm saying in a way where I'm calm and relaxed. And even this video, I sound calm and relaxed. I'm not bashing, so I'm not being a hater. I'm simply just friend to friend, although we've never spoken. But hey, I'll call you my friend if you're willing to call me a friend. But speaking man to man, I genuinely think that when you're giving criticism, just accept it. Move on. It would literally make your life easier if you stopped falling into the criticism. Maybe if you don't agree with Austin and Bradley, don't respond. Same thing with RJ. Same thing with Matt. Same thing with anyone who criticizes you. Best case scenario, just don't respond. People will claim that you're just someone who's scared to conversate, but right now it seems like you're just more scared to admit when you're wrong. And it's like, just suck it up. Everyone loses. LeBron James has only won 4 championships in the NBA. He's been in the NBA for past 17 years. Everyone loses, even the best. The best of the best have lost. I mean, PewDiePie, the biggest YouTuber on the platform, back in 2016, I forgot what happened, but he got in a lot of trouble, and that was his loss. Everyone loses. Everyone loses, you're not always going to win. The MCU was once the critically most acclaimed franchise, having never gone a low score on Rotten Tomatoes, but then Eternals came out and got a very low score. You're going to lose eventually. I have lost before. I've had videos that have gone more dislikes than likes, and guess what? I accept the loss. But still, you have to understand to accept it. And I know the scoop game, because when you're a scooper, you're given information from sources, like people who work within the industry, and typically information spreads around real quick. And sometimes some of the information's wrong and you just hear it. So for you, this person who you trust because he has given you good information, then maybe gave you false information and he didn't know it. It's not your fault, it's not his fault. But when you are the public face, when you are the guy telling everyone the scoop, when you're telling everyone what it is, your scoop, when you're telling someone exactly that information, everyone now looks at you. Because look, you're going to be credited when that thing's right. Like, let's say I'm a scooper and I tell people Ray Fisher is going to star in Rebel Moon 2. I know he's going to star in the first Rebel Moon, but let's say Rebel Moon 2 is confirmed and I'm the scooper who confirms that. When that comes out to be true, I get all the credit. Rightfully so. The glory, the love, everyone looks at me and says, that is the guy who got that scoop right. And you're obviously going to be happy. So when you've gotten things right, you cheer for it. You're happy. You're like, yay, I got something right. But the same thing has to go when you're wrong. People are going to look at you and think, hey, you gave us this information. What's up with that? Why you gave me that information? Why is it false? Why? Why'd you give me false information? And rightfully so, someone can question that. You have to acknowledge that you lost. If you're going to acknowledge that you won at some point, you have to acknowledge you lost. And that's my biggest criticism from Syl. And again, this is coming from someone who genuinely wants to see Syl win because he's a Snyder fan. I'm a Snyder fan. I want everyone in the Snyder community to just get along and we all accept, our future wins when the Snyderverse gets restored. But my biggest criticism with Syl is it doesn't seem like he can accept criticism. And now you can see some hidden homophobia. I'm not saying he is homophobic. What I'm saying is that is hidden homophobia right there. Because again, why even bring up, literally, this was Bradley, it was Bradley. Oh no, it was Austin. My bad. Sorry, Austin and Bradley, for watching. But Austin, who has been public about his relationship. And look, we still live in a world where being LGBTQ+, yes, on Twitter and on social media, it seems like a good thing. It seems like a cool thing. But in the real world, it's still difficult because there are still cultures who don't accept that kind of cultural movement. And when you say F you and your boyfriend to someone who's publicly in a gay relationship, it starts hinting at something very suspicious. It hints at it. Because again, when you criticize anybody else, you never bring up their relationship. When I've gone criticized, I've never heard anyone say F you and your girlfriend. I've never even revealed what my relationship is because I prefer to keep that part of my life private. But Jarbo, who I believe has publicly said he has a girlfriend, how come you've never said that to Jarbo? How come you've never said to Jarbo, F you and your girlfriend? That is a little questioning. Why bring up someone's boyfriend, especially when they have nothing to do with it? Is it because they're public with the relationship? Is it because they're always on stream together? You're literally talking to Austin. And yet, you have the sudden urge to bring up Bradley in this. By the way, I do apologize for confusing both Bradley and Austin earlier in this. But why bring up that? Like, it makes you look suspicious. It makes you look like you're genuinely have a hidden homophobia. This kind of reminds me of iShowSpeed. I don't know if any of you guys know him, but he's this Twitch streamer, and a clip of him resurfaced from, I believe, a couple months ago, a year ago, I don't know, and he was playing Fortnite, I believe, or Apex, I don't remember, and a girl was criticizing him, and he was like, oh, what's that? Is that a female talking? He was basically making sexist remarks, and he has said before he's not sexist, but that was hidden sexism. Now, to be fair, his was more visible than Syl's. But still, why bring this up? And again, I'm not claiming you're homophobic. I do claim there is hidden homophobia. And look, I've learned from this. I used to have hidden sexism within me. I used to literally see women as lesser when I was much younger because I was taught from a young age that women were supposed to be house providers and they were nothing more, just, the ones that have the babies that are in the kitchen, all that. That's what I believed when I was younger. But the older I got, the more I realized, holy crap, even though I'm not really sexist, I did have that hidden sexism within me. And typically, even back in the day, when a girl would give me an opinion, I genuinely be like, "That's a female sandwich maker," and that's how I used to interpret things because I had hidden sexism. But this right here is not looking good for you, Syl. And again, I'm rooting for you. I'm hoping you win, and I was really hoping you were right about this, or you and Mikey. But again, you have to accept the criticism. And all the people who love him, like Skywalker. Again, I've had great conversations with Sky. Although, well, I can't find his tweet anymore. But I've had great conversations with Sky. There are people I know like Zodrider. I've had good conversation with Zodrider. You have to understand that most of the people criticizing Syl are criticizing him for giving us information that came out to be wrong. Like I don't get why that's not so simple. He gave us information and it came out to be wrong. It's simple as that. And people are going to rightfully ask questions like, "Hey, why'd you give us this? Why'd you give us that?" And let's not deny it. It's obvious by just looking at his title and thumbnails that he clearly markets more towards Snyder fans. So let's not even sugarcoat it. It's obvious. It's pretty obvious. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Yeah, sorry, I was seeing that all exit. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, you guys let me know in the comments what do you think. Sorry for the long video. I have been making longer videos recently. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.